If you're thinking about selling your home in 2026 and you're on the fence, in this video, I'm gonna share with you who should sell now and who should wait. If we haven't met, I'm Tsai. I've been in the real estate industry for 17 years. And last year, our team has sold over 1,000 properties, volume at almost $1 billion. And so in this video, I'm gonna share with you the things that you should look at so that way you can determine whether or not 2026 is a good time for you to sell your property. So if you're thinking about selling your home, you definitely wanna look into these indicators so that we can decide whether or not it's the right time for you to sell. First of all, understand that almost always it's hard to time the market. So when you're looking to sell, really first depends on your alternative. If you were to sell, what are you gonna do with the money? Okay, where are you moving to? The reason why you want to sell. I believe that's more important than the indicators. But if you were to look into any indicators, I would say definitely look into the current inventories. And also based on your cities, how are homes selling? Like the absorption rate, the months of inventories, which will be able to help you to run. If you have that questions, feel free to leave in the comment or you can feel free to DM me. And also you can look at the economic growth in your city and also the interest rate, because that's gonna affect the number of buyers that could qualify to purchase your property. So you definitely wanna look into those indicators and sit down with the professionals so that way they can help you analyze your current situation and your options, and also they can sit down to go over with your market trend. One of the biggest risks that I see people when they are trying to time the market perfectly is that they are thinking about, maybe I will wait for a couple months when the rate comes down, so there will be more buyers. While that may be true, but sometimes by doing so, you may lose the golden market as far as you looking to, let's say if you're looking to purchase a property. Because sometimes if you sell, you're looking to buy another property. If the price goes up, then the home that you're buying likely is gonna go up too. By trying to time it perfectly, again, you don't know the interest rate, and then you don't know your maybe job situation. And maybe after you sell this property, your goal is to get into another investment opportunities down the road that you are anticipating to get into. It could be a business opportunity, it could even be stock, right? It could be anything. So I would say assess your situation, especially if it's your primary properties, and assess the opportunity cost. If you don't sell, what is the opportunity cost? And then if the opportunity cost is more than you keeping the properties, then usually it becomes obvious for the sellers to realize it maybe selling is the right decision. But on the other hand, if the opportunity cost is very small, then sometimes maybe it makes more sense to just keep the property. So if you're thinking right now, but I still want to know whether or not 2026 is a good time to sell, every year there could be things that's happening. Like for instance, there is the Iran war that's happening, which is driving out the inflation a little bit, where the interest rate may go up because of that. And also a couple months ago, this happened, that happened. All the time there could be something that's happening. So as far as the time frame, I would say to sell a property, typically just understand that the hot season to sell a property. I remember I seeing some articles before. It was mid-April, I believe April 17 or something like that, based on all the statistic number that they ran. I believe it's because the school people are about to get out of school, and usually during the summertime the parents has a little bit more time and the kids are out of school, so they want to get to a different school district. So a lot of time from April to, I would say, September, even parts of October, is a good time to sell a property. But I'm not saying other than these months the market will be bad, but just know that there will be more people looking for home during this time. And during October to, I would say, March, yes, there will be a little bit less buyer based on statistic, but you also mean that there are less sellers. So you will have less competitions, and especially during that time, if you price it right, and your house will stand out. I would say typically most seasons you will get buyers regardless if you price the property right. So don't worry about the market so much. Understanding about your whole situation, and we can help you assess, let's say if you have to sell, your opportunity cost, where can you get to so that it makes more sense for your family or for your investment. So if you're stressed about, like thinking about moving, buying or selling, because especially you've never done so, even if you've done it before, moving is annoying. I mean, I have moved a couple times myself. I purchased properties and sell my own properties a couple times, and it is annoying. It is a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, be like, yeah, it's gonna be all seamless and all that. Yes, it's gonna be smooth. I mean, our goal is to make it as seamless as possible so that you can experience less stress. But I like to do this, take out a piece of paper, put down the pros and cons, like the pros about moving and the cons about moving. And then if you can see based on that exercise, seeing that there's so much way more pros than cons, then it may be a little bit more obvious for you to make the move. And I always like to say, because sometimes people just like owning a stock, right? Let's say if they want to sell the stock at a certain price, and then they say, oh, if I don't get this price, I won't sell. The market is not gonna care for you because stock has its price. But people often overlook if you were to have this equity stock in your property, like what else can you do with that money? So if you're stressed about it, I would say obviously talk to your family to figure out whether or not this is the decision that you guys want to make collectively, or if it's just by yourself. You can talk to us and then we can give you some guidance. What are some of the options that you can do? Then you can make that decision for yourself and for your family. I will share my own experience when I assess on selling my properties then. So I sold a couple investment properties before where if I hadn't sold it, I would have a couple $100,000 more in equity. But the thing is, I had to sell it because I was going through some family situation where I need the capital. And going back to think about it, do I really have to sell it? Can I bite the bullet and just keep it? I probably could. So as far as selling a property, I would say if you can keep it because property oftentimes creates revenues and you build equities. But in certain situations, like my situation, it make more sense to sell. Such as in Chinese we say 生老病死, meaning like life events. Newborn, death in the family, people got sick, or like people getting older, and divorce, job relocation. Then those are the situations where keeping a property may not make sense for you. And this doesn't really matter what the market is, because I truly believe no matter what the market is, there is opportunities. It's just if the market is really hot, you gotta analyze more properties, you gotta look at more properties to find the one that you like. And that's why you want to talk to us, and we'll be able to work on that timeline with you to prepare for it. And where, let's say if the market is not hot, then you have a bunch of homes to look at. But it takes strategic planning so that if you are thinking about selling, it's not really about trying to find the best time to sell a home, but it's to figure out the best plan for you. So that way you can do the best thing for you based on your future goal. So if you do have some life event that's happening, hopefully the happy one. So if you know that you may have some situation where selling a property may be the right move for you, or you're just curious, is it the right move? I held on to this property for a long time. Maybe it's an investment. Is it generating me the right income for the property? Reach out to us. We'll be able to help you look at your portfolio, and from there then we can help you decide, hey, this may be a property that you want to keep, this may be the property that you want to sell. And if you were to sell, you may be able to exchange into something else, maybe real estate, maybe something else, so that you can build on your future. Or you can find that home with that extra bedroom for your kids, or for your office, or for your gym, entertainment room, or you're looking to downsize because there are a couple rooms that you're just not using. And if you were to downsize, you can get a couple $100,000 out, which then you can use that as a retirement or into another investment vehicle. So one thing you should also consider if you're thinking about selling a home in 2026 is to calculate the number. So look at your current expense, especially on the housing side. Like what's your rate that you're paying and all the payment, how is the loan, even like the tax whatsoever. And depending on your age, right? Different age, there, especially if you're older, there could be different bills that can help you keep the tax rate low. Look at that, and then look at the property that you're looking to buy in. So that way you can know how much it will cost for you to actually make the transition to sell this property, to buy another property, or to rent a property. Again, everybody's life stage is different, so you want to sit down with a professional. One question I like to ask the potential sellers, where let's say if you're looking to sell, you're thinking about selling, is to picture yourself in 5 years. Okay, where do you want to be in 5 years? Like if in 5 years you do picture yourself not being in this house anymore, and you really want to get that yard or that extra bedroom like what I mentioned earlier, then it then could make sense that right now is a good time, right? Or maybe next year or so. But if in 5 years you can still picture yourself living here, then you know, if it's not urgent, you feel like it's a good house that you want to live in, and the rate doesn't make sense for you, the payment doesn't make sense for you, then in that case it's good for you to stay in the property. So also, while you're doing that exercise, think of yourself, if you were to live in this property for the next 5 years, what are some of the things that has to happen for you to make a decision on, right now I really want to make this transition into a different place, right? Again, could be those life events. If nothing has to happen and you just really don't want to move, then that's a clear sign. It makes more sense for you to stay. But if you're really sick and tired of staying in the same place due to whatever reasons, or it's just really a hassle for you to drive more than an hour to get to work, especially on the way home, it's just really exhausting, and you rather spend that time with your family than driving. And when you get tired enough, sometimes that's a sign for you to make the move. So one question that I would ask myself if I'm considering selling my property in 2026 is, how would it make me feel if I were to sell this property today? So let's say if I were to sell it, and then it would actually help me relax, help me feel better, help me put some weight off my shoulder, maybe to pay off some debt, maybe I can finally get close to the somewhere I want to get to, where I can really solve some family situation, where I can upgrade or downsize, then you know, maybe that's a clear sign. Because not having stress, sometimes it's worth more than paying a little bit more money monthly, or even if the finance don't make 100% sense. If you're thinking about it, make sure you reach out to us, and our team can help you analyze the number with no string attached. And again, we don't push you to sell or buy anything. If you like this video, please like and share it with your friend who's thinking about buying or selling, or just having any general real estate questions, or want to get into the real estate game. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. It will really help us out to push this video to the people that could really use this information, so that they can start building their wealth or move closer to where they want to be at. And thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next episode. Peace.